idea. I was actually kind of dreading this for.
Why?
Well, because I don't. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about when you're older. Hey everyone, and welcome to the wonderful world of weddings. My name is Daniel Krikorian. We are so happy to have you here. Today I have a wonderful guest, but before I introduce you to her, I got to let you know that this show is sponsored by Be Remembered. So go to BeRememberedWeddings.com. It is the booking season. Make sure that you are booked for 2023 because spots are running out. Go to BeRememberedWeddings.com for all of your photo, video, event planning, DJ, makeup, photo booth, and I think that's about it needs for right now. We're going to get into the show. I have a wonderful guest, Kerry, with me right now, and we're going to talk about something a little sus, as the kids would say these days. Is that the proper way to say it?
Sure. I'm not.
Sus, right?
Yeah.
All right, I just got glam.
I'm really not in.
You're not in the know?
No.
All right. God damn it. I need someone to help me.
Yeah, not me.
I said glam every once in a while. People look at me like, what?
Glam is fine.
Right?
I get glam.
I got soft glam. I got natural glam.
Yes.
Okay. Am I glam? Yes. All right, Kerry, tell me a little bit about Kerry Callahan Boudoir.
Kerry Callahan Boudoir is something I fell into. I had not been shooting. What?
Nothing. No, I'm just so curious. So for all of you out there, this is a subject that I have jokes. I don't have jokes. Kerry and I were talking before the show, and I think we're just a giggly bunch here. But continue, please. We'll get into my questions.
I had been photographing families and newborns forever, and then I had my own boudoir session, which made me decide to never do anything else again and only do boudoir.
Okay, quite the switch, though.
Yes.
How long were you doing family sessions prior?
Probably 5 or more years.
Okay. Yeah. And then overnight, you decide to do boudoir. How long have you been doing boudoir?
So this
no pun intended
will
with
be
the overnight.
my third full year.
Third full year. Okay. And so I guess my question here, and our audience, we're always trying to inform brides, grooms, etc. Anyone kind of looking in. So do brides reach out a lot? Is that the target demographic?
So my demographic is any woman, really.
Sure,
but
sure,
I
fair
do
enough.
have a lot of brides.
Yeah.
It's a great gift for the wedding night.
Okay. And I guess God damn, I'm too much of a guy here. I'm thinking of terrible things for all you guys out there. I am so sorry. I'm trying to keep it together for all you brides. I'm going to try to give you as much good information as possible. I just have questions.
Ask away. I'm here to answer them.
And so, usually my whole goal on this show is to ask questions as if I'm a customer. I find that to work really, really well.
So pretend you're a woman.
Okay. Well, I don't have the hair, so I'm at a loss here. So they're doing these photos. When do they typically book with you?
So generally I tell them to book a little bit in advance because I do book up.
Yeah, sure.
So I would say at least a month or two before the wedding date so that we have plenty of time to have their session.
Yeah.
I have them come back and see all their photos and we'll figure out which ones they want for their album.
Yeah.
We do metal prints. I do all kinds of really cool stuff. So once they come back, we pick out all their stuff, then I will design an order, and then I want to make sure that they have everything in time for the wedding.
And what did you really fall in love with? Because it's such a dramatic change. So, and I actually think about this from a photography standpoint. The lighting and the surrounding attributes are pretty similar, funny enough, right? I mean, it's a lot of controlled environment. It's a studio setting. So most of this is controlled, which I think is the biggest part from an artistic standpoint, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not that much of a jump in that regard.
No.
When I talk about wedding photographers, we're mostly talking about this idea that, it's a run and gun environment here. It's you can't take it back. Yeah. So before I'll fill everyone in here. Before I said to Kerry, I said, I don't know what to do. And she goes, why? I said, well, I wouldn't touch a boudoir photo shoot with a 10-foot pole. And I've been asked, and I'm like, no. And she goes, well, I wouldn't touch a wedding with a 10-foot pole. So you don't like the run and gun.
No. The fact that it could start pouring or lightning or anything. No, thank you.
Is that what went through your head? Like, that's the thought?
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. And also, I've just seen, I don't know, weddings are not for me.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, they're not for everyone. That's for damn sure. So I guess, what really made that change? Because it's not that big of a change, but the mentality is a big change. You're not dealing with you said infants, you were doing a lot of shoots there, right?
Yes, yeah.
So that is a difficult environment. Do you find that it is difficult in the boudoir space or no, you don't?
No. For me, what happened was I had my own session and I was I had just had my 4th baby. So like as a woman having babies, like your body is changing and you don't always feel amazing about yourself.
Of course.
So having that session and when I saw those photos, it was like this cliche, like life-changing thing for me. I was like, I'm beautiful. I'm sexy. Like I just felt good seeing those photos and I was like, I want to do this for every woman. It really just had this mind shift of me like, I want to empower women. I want to show them that they are beautiful too.
Sure.
So that was that. I just jumped.
Okay. And you just jumped full force.
That's what I do. That's my personality trait. I jump. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair point. And it seemed to work out pretty well for you though.
Yes, it is amazing.
Okay. And so my big thing, I mean, they can do these shoots really at any time, which is wonderful. Yes. Do you tend to do, now you said that you did one after you had a child. My question is, you're getting a lot of brides here, great gift for, the night of the wedding, but I'm assuming just for the groom.
It's a gift for the bride too, because that feeling of feeling beautiful is a gift for yourself.
I just meant we're not giving it out as favors, correct?
No. It is a beautiful, so my album.
Hey, how did I look, Dad? Ooh, well,
It's a nice private gift. A lot of my brides will either do it the night before. A lot of brides and grooms don't spend the night together.
Of course.
So she'll have it like left in his room or whatever.
Yep.
Or when they're getting ready, they'll have someone sneak it over because they're not together. That's what a lot of.
Kind of show what's under the dress.
Yeah, just to give them something to look forward to, I'm
going to get in so much trouble for this episode. I actually talked to Sophie, who manages this, and I said to her, we might have to bring on someone else. I don't know if I can handle it.
No, we're good. It's fine.
I mean, the funniest thing is a lot of these conversations, so we're all adults listening in, but a lot of these conversations are ones that I think just need to be had, and I think humor is great to bring to a lot of things just because even for the women who maybe understand it from an empowerment standpoint, they have to be somewhat nervous, are they not?
Yeah, every client's nervous. Okay. One client was walking up my stairs and she's like, I'm going to throw up. I'm like, you're not. Get in here. Let's go.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That's too funny. When you go ahead and have that first session with them as a bride, do you go and touch base with them again later on and say, hey, you want to do another one? Like a repeat customer?
So my clients are my best customers. I've had this year alone, I think just over the past couple weeks, 4 clients have reached out to book another session because it's just such an incredible experience.
Well, I'm assuming you have to have the personality for it too. You seem like you have the personality to keep it pretty light. Yeah,
I am. It's really fun. I just posted a video of me falling off the couch trying to do a pose for my client. Everyone thought it was great. We laugh a lot the whole time.
I mean, you have to. Although I will tell you, it's the same thing with weddings. It is. I don't know what to tell you.
Not going to convince me.
Look. My engagement shoots, right? The most successful day and the best feeling in the world is when a guy says to me, that wasn't bad.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Because I have so many guys in particular who are just not ready to be photographed, don't understand it. And I always start them slow, which I feel like we're talking the same thing here. You got to start them in a less, what's the word? Let's say easy position, but I mean more in the regards of like less in and involved and just say, hey, put your hand here. And they go, oh, wow. And I show them the photo. I'm like, you two look adorable. And if they're in love, they really do look adorable and they can see it and you can feel it. And they go, oh, we do look good. And I said, all right, we got a little confidence. Let's go try another one. Hey, why don't we put your leg like this and do this? And they oh, wow, we look really good. I'm like, like, and I'm like, and I mean, some of them do. They look like they should be on a cover of a magazine just simply because of the love, and I'm just like, damn, you guys look great. And they're like, oh, wow, we really do. And now I can, really kind of expand their reach and they can have that photo that they go, that's the photo, right? So anyways, I think that's just something that you must deal with in a huge way as well.
Yeah. So it's exactly the same situation. I start with maybe less of a showy outfit. We pick something more modest maybe for people who are more nervous. And then after I show the back of the camera a few times, you can see them relax and just get into it.
Hot damn.
And get excited. And then when they leave, there's a little pep in their step every time. It's great.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here, and you're going to hear me stumble even more when we come back from the break and we dig head over heels into this. That was pun intended. But thank you, Kerry, for being on this. We're going to be back in just a few seconds, guys. Stay with us here on the Wonderful World of Weddings, and we will see you in just a few. Thanks. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Wonderful World of Weddings. My name is Daniel. I have a wonderful guest here, Kerry, with me, and we are laughing all the way right now. I was going to say all the way to the bedroom, but I can't even.
The boudoir.
The boudoir room, right? Yeah, all right. So let's do this. So I have Kerry Callahan from Kerry Callahan Boudoir. That's a little tongue twister.
Yes, it is.
So she is joining us today. We are on part 2. We just came back from commercial, and we're going to talk a little bit about the basics here. Now, we were talking during the break. I've been asked to do this before. Again, I will repeat myself over and over again. I wouldn't do it with a 10-foot pole. Not a way. But what's the process? How do they find you? Do they find you from Instagram models and, big butts, or what are we doing here? How do we?
So my clients find me from all over. A lot of them come from Google, my website. A lot of them do come from Instagram. But my biggest, I guess where most people find me is my VIP group on Facebook. I have a VIP group with just over 2,500 women. Okay. And it's a super empowering, welcoming community of women where we just talk about self-love and all kinds of empowering women. Okay. Wonderful. So that's where they sort of are, and a lot of them book from there. And a lot of them sharing that with friends and getting them involved. Is that kind of how? Okay, that's a wonderful way to do it. Yep. Very, very nice. So it built a community here. Yep. And I think, again, we were talking in the break, one of the tough things about being a man in this space is that there's so much to go to make someone feel comfortable. Yes. And before the break, I was telling the story of, or telling the fact that, when I get a guy to say to me, that wasn't so bad, that's a huge success because men are just not ready for it. Yeah. But, and I think you share some of this, I don't like being in front of the camera. I feel awkward in front of it. Yes. That being said, sharing that awkwardness, I can bring them up to speed, right? I can be like, hey, we're both awkward. Let's get to here together. Yeah. And that's a really big success. And it seems like, from what you were telling me prior, that's a lot of your feelings too, because you had the experience, and so where they're starting from. Yes. And so that's a big part of it, correct? Yeah. Yeah. And I can sympathize with them. A lot of women are very uncomfortable with their bodies and all of the things that go with that. So it's very easy to sympathize and talk with them and help ease them into it. Yeah. When I understand their feelings. Sure. Now, do you give them any type of advice going in? Like how do you do that? Like what do you say to a lot of these people that are trying to get you to book, but not really sure if they want to? So I talk a lot about just what goes into a session. I go live in my group a lot during a session so people can actually watch a session and be able to see exactly how it goes on. Okay. I interview past clients and post it in my group so that they can hear from another person how the experience was and really kind of see that it was such an amazing experience. Sure. And then when someone does book, they get all kinds of emails before their session, how to prep, like make sure to shave and make sure to come with clean, dry hair for the makeup and hair, all kinds of whatever I need them to know. Okay, that definitely makes sense. And and you're also talking about wardrobe too. So that was actually, you said this earlier, and I meant to ask you about this. God, there's so many things I get in trouble for. I'm going to try to... Do you don't provide the wardrobe? I do. You do? I do. So I have a client closet with hundreds of pieces from extra small to 4X. I constantly am adding to it. So all of my clients are more than welcome to pick through it. They also are more than welcome to bring their own stuff. Sure. Really interesting. Okay. I didn't even consider that. So that's a big piece of it. And you said makeup as well. I do. So I have a makeup artist that comes. She's almost exclusively my makeup artist. So she does every client for me. And then I do all of the hair. So I was actually a hairstylist before this life. So I do all of my clients' hair. So you're a multifaceted machine. I am. Yeah. So I've only been out of the salon for 2 years. So this is really my full-time Yes.
All right. And that's actually a great point too. When are you doing most of these? Are these at night? Are they
So
whatever?
I generally, because I have kids, I kind of work my mom's schedule. So I book clients weekend mornings and then Tuesday mornings.
Weekend and Tuesdays.
Yep.
No kidding. Oh. Now, I would assume because of the weekends that you'd have a tough time because of some of the weddings that are going on. But if you're not involved with that, weekends are best for people. Yeah, I'm sorry. I live a different life. It's fine. Whatever. So I guess my big thing is, what are some of the tips that you tell clients prior to these engagements? Like, what are you sending to them, prior to them showing up at the door?
So basically,
I said engagements, but I didn't mean it as engagements. It's just roll off the
our session.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I tell them to make sure to remove any hair they don't want seen because, these photos are intimate.
And on top of that, cameras are really good.
Yes. Yeah. And I am not going to Photoshop hair out. So we make sure we take care of that. I have them come with clean, dry hair so that we can make their hair look beautiful, a clean, just moisturized face for makeup. And then to bring anything they want to incorporate. A lot of brides, especially, will bring certain things of their husbands to be. So like one of his shirts or I've had some that like the husband was a police officer. So she brought like one of his jackets. I don't know what they call it.
I don't know what they call them. A uniform.
Yeah, his uniform. There we go. I've had like a lot of military wives who have brought like their hat or their uniform jacket. So
sure.
A lot of things that are special.
Yep. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And, I guess my big thing is in that group that you have for the VIP and you're showing these sessions, do you ever get people like tuning in and being like, I guess, because like my thought is you're also fighting the hesitancy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to convince someone. I'm sure you're not convincing them to do it. They probably want to do it, but now it's just like to get them to that point where they feel comfortable enough to do it. That's a tough thing.
So Boudoir has a bad rap. A lot of people look at it very negatively. I know I get judged a lot for doing it. And it's not, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that it's an incredible experience for women. So everyone in my group, where I go live, it's a very safe place. All of the photos I share are permitted from my clients. I don't share anyone's photos that they don't allow. They all agree. I have a lot of clients who are lawyers and doctors and teachers, so they don't want their images shared. So it's very important to me for privacy to only share clients who allow that.
No, absolutely.
But everyone in my group is there on their own free will, and they all are interested in Boudoir. So I don't really have a lot of issues with that.
No, I guess my big thing is like, is there a learning curve that you have to bring people through? Do you find that they come into the group and it takes them a good amount of time to feel comfortable? You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
They definitely warm up in my group. I post a lot of my own photos so that they feel like they can connect with me. Like, oh, she does do it too,
Right.
I post a lot of Q&A often. I go live a lot and talk about sessions and will answer questions. So I really try to make sure I'm always answering any hesitancy that people might have.
How long did it take you to get that group built up?
So I built it in the end of 2020, so not super long.
No. Wow. Okay. Wow. And people have been just kind of levitating towards that. Yeah. That's really interesting. I mean, it's a different way to go after it, and it definitely takes some time, but I think it's wonderful, especially in this regard where people have so many questions. And it's funny because it does relate to weddings in a major way in the regards that people have no clue what they're doing going into it, right?
Definitely.
They're sitting there with a blank slate. Now, thankfully, they can screw up without anyone around. I think one of the most stressful parts with weddings is you have this person talking in your ear, this person talking in your ear, right? There's a lot of engagement here, and it's just like, Jesus, that's tough.
Yeah.
But it's just you and them. And I think if you can get them to feel comfortable, it's pretty simple, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. I guess my last real question here in terms of brides. Well, I guess for everyone, I should stop saying brides. I'm used to brides because we're talking about it from a wedding standpoint.
I have a lot of brides, honestly.
No, do you? I mean, is it like 90%?
No, I would say 50.
50, really?
Yeah, I have
okay.
a lot of brides.
Wow, that's really interesting. How many customers do you have a year? How many people do you take on?
So I had just over 100 last year.
Wow, really? That took you about 2 years to build up, you said?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. That's absolutely amazing. I'm just a little surprised. I mean, I do. Where does that negative stigma come from for the boudoir shots? As much as I personally don't understand them, I also don't see them in a negative light, which I find to be kind of fun.
I think it's just uneducated people or people who don't think celebrating the women's body. Like they think that it's not okay to post pictures in lingerie, but it's celebrating your body. It's not, I don't think it's anything negative.
Okay. All right. Interesting. And then do you, just to wrap this up here, because we're actually going to jump to a quick commercial break, for all the brides out there, potential people, like what's the biggest question that you get asked from them? Like what's that biggest, like, you know, I'm really nervous. Like what do they always say to you? What's the biggest thing?
They ask so many questions. I think the biggest question I get is their privacy. Like if they're not comfortable with their images being shared, because as a photographer, I need to use my photos for marketing, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of my clients want to know the privacy part of that. And like if they have to share their photos, and it's a no, you do not have to share anything if you don't want to.
Gotcha. We are speaking with Kerry Callahan here of Callahan Boudoir. God, that is a tongue twister. We are going to be back in just a few seconds here right after this commercial break, and we will see you. And we're going to get a little bit more into the self-love feature of this and how she really dove into that and how she can help the next bride and next person looking out there. So join us back here in the wonderful world of weddings in just a second, guys. We hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Every step, writing stories that seek to be read, taking hold of the moment as we discover every color filled with wonder. Now we finally see we got everything we need. Here we go.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the wonderful world of weddings. My name is Daniel. We are so happy to have you here. For all of our brides and grooms out there, we're switching up a little bit today, and we're going to talk about the dirty deed, about boudoir photography. I think there are plenty of questions here. Little gift for the grooms out there. You're welcome that we're having this conversation. And I'm going to fight through this last one. This next one, we're going to do it together, though. So I have Kerry Callahan Boudoir here, and she has been a lovely guest answering a lot of questions here. We're going to talk about self-love.
We're going to do it.
We're going to do it. Look, let's be honest with everyone here. I understand it. I don't believe in it. Just making her cringe.
We'll convince
me.
Here,
you know what?
okay?
We're going to do a little prove me wrong here.
Okay.
Teach me something here. So you talk a lot about the empowerment.
Yes.
And looking at your body and seeing that you're gorgeous.
Yes.
I don't disagree with any of this, actually. I have a great ass.
So you got to celebrate it.
I guess for me, now this is from a guy's perspective. I've been taught to run myself into the ground, and I actually thoroughly enjoy it. So I'm not going to lie to you here. You were talking about the feeling, too, of seeing those photos.
Yeah.
I guess for me, is it the action of doing it, you know, and really being involved and seeing yourself? I guess walk me through where they find that empowerment. Is it the sharing of it, you know, and where does this all come from? Where do you see it stem from? How does it start?
So I think for me and for a lot of my clients, it's just seeing yourself in a different light. A lot of women, us, especially moms, women in general, really, we are judged constantly. I feel like we judge ourselves constantly. We look at social media and we look at magazines and everybody's perfect, but that's not real life.
Yeah.
So for us to be able to have this experience and see ourselves the way other people see us, these photos are not, they're you.
You know, you actually just brought up a great point, and I never thought about this before, so I applaud you for that. Well, no. So social media, and this is something I talk about even from weddings. is an unrealistic expectation of the
100%.
world
Absolutely.
in a negative way. And I think it causes a lot of problems in society. We did a whole short film on this that I wrote. And one of my fears is people look at it and they see it and they say, I have to be that. But it's so unrealistic because it's picked out of their lives for a second of it with all of this glamorous, arrangement around them, usually worth a lot of money. Yep. And people say, why am I not like them? Mm-hmm. And I just thought about it from a boudoir standpoint. If you're seeing these half-naked women on Instagram, which is 90% of Instagram most of the time, yep. and you say, why don't I look like this in my mirror? Well, most of the time it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the setting, the environment. These people know how to take a picture properly. They know how to light properly, which makes things look better or worse, right? Or really creates an effect. They've done their makeup. They are not, natural there.
Exactly.
They have done their hair. They are pristine and trying to get you to pay attention. And that is a difficult thing with a slew of millions of individuals on these sites.
Exactly.
And so showing them that, hey, look, when we prop you up and make you look, beautiful, look the same.
Exactly.
Kind of crazy, huh?
Exactly. I did a mentorship with another photographer, and she taught me the ins and outs of posing every body type so that I can make every woman look amazing.
Sure.
And it's your body. I don't really Photoshop bodies. I smooth some skin to make you look really pretty and glamorous, but that's it. The way you're posed is to make you look amazing.
But again, you smooth their skin probably the same amount that they're smoothing their skin for that Instagram model.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
It's the same thing. People, again, I think one of the worst things that I get for photography is when people show me a photo or even a video and they say, well, look at this. She's just natural. I said, BS.
Yes.
They said, what do you mean? I said, I can tell that her skin has been photoshopped, edited, touched up, glowed. Like I know how to do all of that. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not natural. Yeah. And they say, why don't I look like that? Well, because you are natural. Yeah. And quite frankly, you should be celebrated for it. I like natural people. Yeah. It's something I enjoy. I've always been more of a boy, girl type guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like people who are athletic. I just like natural.
Yeah.
So I find it really interesting that we're being deceived to that extent.
Yeah.
Right? It's just so different.
Yeah.
So I guess my biggest thing is, do you find the celebration, the positivity, sharing it, or just looking and comparing? Like, where does that come in?
I honestly don't think that it's the sharing part. Yeah. I think that it's seeing yourself and just feeling amazing and being like, wow, that's me. Yeah. I have clients, so I have them come back and we do a little reveal and I put their photos up on my big TV. Yep. And I would say 75% of my clients are bawling their eyes out halfway through. And they're like, I can't believe that's me. I'm so beautiful. And it's amazing that I can give them that gift to see their own beauty because it's them. It's really, I don't do a whole lot. Like it's them. Yeah. But for them to be able to just find that inner like peace and be like, wow, I am beautiful. Yeah. They tell me that they will, anytime they're having a bad day, they'll just look at their photos and be like, oh yeah, okay, I got it,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. And that's fair. And I think it's funny though, because you were saying that they were doing it at different intervals. And I was like, there was this comedian I was watching one day where he was saying like, oh, I have to do the mirror check every once in a while to see if I still look good and be like, oh shit, I got to work a little bit harder. And I just think to myself, I'm like, there is that reminder of like, oh, hey, look, I look like this and this is where I'm at and so forth and so on. And, it kind of makes me think of something like that. But I think, and it's too funny because that really does document a particular time in your life as well, right?
Yep.
Because you see so much of the dress and the glamour. A lot of it is with that other person, but there's also this part of like, oh, you can see yourself and where you are at that point as well, right? That's a big part of it.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of brides are so caught up in the planning and the stress of planning. So to be able to do this boudoir session that is a day for them, they come and they get spoiled with hair and makeup and they get to feel beautiful and like just have such a fun, we laugh the whole session. They laugh at me the whole session. Seriously. So for them, it's like a nice break from the planning, right? Yeah. Like, and it's something, I'm a giver. I love gifting. So I think for a lot of brides, they get really excited to be able to gift this to their husband before the wedding.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said that was a big thing, and you do a lot of different types of printing too.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Huh. Now, I've been meaning to ask this whole time. I don't know. Sophie's definitely going to roll her eyes. But I guess my question is, so when I shoot a family, I'm really looking to create. I don't do a lot of families. I do a lot of outside, obviously because of natural engagement. Some inside with lighting, and I'm doing backlighting. I'm doing all of these different techniques to get some depth in that photo. And I guess my real question is, how do you perfectly light an ass?
So I am.
I might have to cut this segment out, but it's too funny. I had to ask it.
I wing it.
Yeah.
I use all natural light. I don't use any. I have zero light in my studio.
I did see this shot once, and again, anything a guy says in this particular way is going to sound creepy, but it was probably your photo for all I know. You were using light from a windowsill.
Yes.
Very effectively, and I thought it was stunning.
So that's it. So in my studio, I have a ton of windows. I built it to have a ton of windows.
Yeah.
So I have like a couch in front of the window. So I pose them where the light just hits their butt perfectly. And it is perfect. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I love that you're using natural light and techniques here. We're not throwing out the book. We're really utilizing it to get the most out of it. Yeah. No, it's definitely, you can't do they ever complain about your lighting being too flat?
No, nobody cares. They just want their butt to look good.
Right, of course. And then I guess the real question is, and I think I've asked you this during the break, is, where does my butt rate on a scale of 1 to 10? And how much work do you have to do for the lighting? Is it quite a bit, or what are we talking here? Did you not look? It's okay. We won't tell anyone. I think it looks great for everyone out there, but I work hard, the gym, the squat. Right. Yeah, squat. Yeah. So if all of you are tuning in and realizing that we're having some fun here talking about this, I like to keep things light. This is a subject where usually when we're talking with my guests and I'm talking for couples, I'm trying to really drill down on the points where they can make a mistake. And that's something that, with the run and gun wedding environment, that's crucial, right? Yeah. Making sure they know what they need to know so they don't make those mistakes and feel like they missed out and have that regret. That's a huge thing here. Yeah. Today, we've been able to be a little bit lighter. That being said, I think when we come back, I am just going to ask you a little bit from the industry perspective of what to not make a mistake about. Because when they're looking for a boudoir photo, as much as I'd love everyone to go to Kerry, you might be listening all around the country and you need to find one locally or for some reason Kerry's booked. So let's talk a little bit about the industry and how we can help them in that regard right when we come back from this break. So guys, thank you so much for joining us here on the Wonderful World of Weddings. My name is Daniel. I do want to let you know that we are actually sponsored by the New England Wedding Expo. And I know for a fact that we are getting very, very booked up. So the New England Wedding Expo is over 50% of capacity for vendors. I think we're over that now. We have a few spots left. And I want to let everyone know that the first 150 guests are free. So go get your tickets at newenglandweddingexpo.com right now to sign up and to be a part of the action. We can't wait to have you there. And we'll see you in just a few seconds, guys. Thank you. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Wonderful World of Weddings. My name is Daniel Krikorian, and you are joining us for this wonderful session on boudoir photography. We are having all sorts of fun and some laughs here. If you're listening as a podcast, number one, if you're not listening as a podcast, go on Spotify, Apple Podcast, TuneIn Radio, everywhere you get your podcast. Go hit subscribe right now. Leave us a review. If you're not having fun with us this session, well, that seems to be your fault. But we're having a blast here. We're not giving you as many tips as we usually do for the wedding side of things, but I'm trying to ask every question a guy might have here, and maybe even some a woman might have. And for guys out there, I highly suggest not asking your wife any of these questions. It's probably not going to work out for your marriage, but that's totally fine. We're going to get back into it. And what I really want to do here is, I know a lot of brides are going to find you from this show. Maybe they're listening in the New England area and they say, let me go be a part of this group, which you've already talked about.
Yep.
And they start getting some information. They say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to do this maybe for my husband, etc. There's some other brides that are going to be listening from across the country and they're going to say, well, Kerry sounds lovely. but I don't know where to go and I don't know what to ask. And so we're going to dig into the industry side of things a little bit more in this last session.
Okay.
Before we get into that, though, I need to know how many guys do this?
I've had 0.
You've had 0.
Yeah, I
because they don't want to deal with the ramifications.
I've had some ask, but for me, I don't know how to even pose a guy, so I've just politely declined because
sure.
I like women, and I feel like my like duty is to help women feel amazing. So for me, I just kind of have
so guys shouldn't feel amazing.
Women.
I'm just screwing with
you.
They
absolutely should, but I might not be the photographer for them.
Fair point.
I mean, I've had a couple, like, we've done couple sessions before.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still primarily focusing on the woman.
Sure. The guy's just over in the corner with a cowboy hat on. That's fine. I get it.
Or, I mean, I don't know how appropriate we should stay in here. So he's more of a prop, I guess.
God, that's how I feel in my life for most women.
Get used to it, right?
Hey, he's there. Hello, that's him. Yes, he's bald. I know. You. Let's just get that out of the way. He's shiny. I use him as a mirror. It's fine.
Sorry, husbands.
No, it's fine. It happens at weddings too.
Female empowerment around here.
Yeah, I know. Guys.
I know you can't relate, but.
Yeah, no. And then they ask us why we don't know what the hell self-love is. They're like, yeah, you can go stand in that corner and watch me pose. It's like, I'm trying. It's like, I need you as the prop here, okay? Now get out. I'm just going to gently decline you today. It's fine. All right. So I guess my big thing is we're looking around the industry. We want to find that person. They don't find the group like you did, which I think is ingenious, to be honest. I think it's wonderful for women, and at the same point, I think it's an incredible marketing tool. So for all of you women out there, I think having a group like that, being able to go join, put your toe in the water and just feel like you can really have a community to surround you and say, not only this is okay, but this is how to do it. Because, I mean, come on, the biggest mistakes in our industry, wedding, included, is I don't know what the hell to do.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to look.
Yeah.
So, all right, they want to go find someone. Are they looking on just your typical marketing places? Are you telling them to go look through Instagram? What would you suggest?
They can look all over. I do know that it's a big thing in the boudoir industry to have these VIP groups. So any really good boudoir photographer is probably going to have a VIP group that you can join. And I think that's a really safe way for you to sort of get to know them. Because it is such an intimate thing. You really want to feel safe with that photographer you choose.
Sure. Okay. And then my next question is, I guarantee you pricing is all over the place, is it not?
Yeah, but I feel like the majority of us charge very similar pricing. It's not cheap. It is an investment. But in my opinion, you don't want to go with the cheap photographer because
of course not.
They're not.
This is a very personal experience.
Cheap is not always the good way to go.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think too, you said you spent quite a bit on your location too, making sure that it was set up for brides. And again, a part of that is the comfort too. So maybe understanding what they set up as well is a big piece of this.
Yes. I want it to be a luxury experience, right? Yeah. I pay for the hair and makeup. My products are very luxe products that I deliver. So all of that kind of goes into the pricing.
Okay. That's a great point. So that's something to look for in the pricing as well, potentially. Yeah. Are you different in that regard, or is that a pretty normal procedure in the industry?
So for everyone who's priced similar to me, it's very much the same. When I first started, I looked around at other even local to me, and I wanted to make sure I was very similar to them. So all of the photographers that I feel like we're very on par talent-wise, we're also very on par money-wise, which I think makes it easier to go ahead and be like, okay, well, I just like her work better when they're priced very similar.
Now, in the beginning, we asked a lot about what they should know going into the session. What should they be asking a boudoir photographer prior to even booking?
I would definitely ask, like, what's included? Is hair and makeup included? Because that's a huge part of it. You want to feel beautiful. And having professional makeup just photographs better.
Of course.
I don't even really allow my clients to not get makeup done. It's just part of the session. It's not extra. It's just always included.
Okay.
Because I want them to look their best,
Sure.
So I would always make sure that's included. I would make sure that there's a safe environment, right? Like
Right,
you want to
right.
make sure it's private, it's safe. There's not going to be anyone else there. I always make sure that my clients are going to feel comfortable.
Sure.
So that's a huge part.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, that only makes sense. I think getting that level of comfort, though, did you say that you had sessions with them prior, or it's that VIP group that they're mainly looking at other sessions?
Mostly in my VIP group. So like I'll go live during a session and like
Yeah.
they can watch the session so they can see me
Right.
in action.
And I apologize. I thought about how I said that. I want to make sure it's a little bit clearer too. Do you have consultations with them prior?
So we will do a phone consultation.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can talk. A lot of my clients, I think it just makes them feel better talking to me and getting to know me and feeling comfortable with me before booking.
Okay. And that's something that you would encourage other people to do when they're looking
Yeah,
at
I
a
think
Boudoir
so.
photographer, no matter who.
Yeah, just to feel safe, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And then finally, just any experiences that really stood out in your mind for me, I read this, and we do this at the end of every show, but that first one where you did it, I mean, that to me is the real experience in your life, right? Because that's I'll never forget.
Yep.
This is what I want to do.
It was life-changing, and it sounds so cliche, but to change my own mindset of myself was incredible for me.
Yeah.
I always felt it's so weird. I always felt inferior, right? Like growing up, I always felt inferior to others, but seeing myself in that way and just seeing myself as beautiful and like deserving and worthy was absolutely life-changing for me. And that's really why I want everyone else to feel that way.
Well, I've been having a wonderful conversation with you. I love it. We've been having a good laugh here. The big thing is, where can people find you? If they're in this New England area, where do they go?
They can go to my website, and on my website, there is a link to join my VIP group. They can schedule a phone call with me. They can just contact me through my website.
What's the website?
CerryCallahanBoudoir.com.
A lot of people call you?
No, normally
No?
they do reach out through email.
Website first.
And then I'll schedule a call.
And you're actually going to be at the New England Wedding Expo with
I
us, which is
am.
absolutely fantastic. So we're very happy. They can meet you there too, which is
Yes.
wonderful.
Yep.
That's something that I think would be great in person to see, right?
Absolutely.
Do you go to a lot of wedding expos?
This will be my first one.
Ooh, all
Yeah.
right. We're all excited. A lot of guests last year. We had over, I think, 500 brides last year. It was
Amazing.
insane. So we can't wait to see you there. We're going to be there with Be Remembered. We're even going to be doing a live Q&A for a lot of people too, and just bringing them on the show for the Wonderful World of Weddings. So for all of you out there that are going to be there, make sure to go to NewEnglandWeddingExpo.com. And Kerry, just tell them one more time where to go for you.
CerryCallahanBoudoir.com.
Love it. Now, if you have any questions, join her VIP group or just go listen to the show. But in the meantime, guys, go find us on Spotify, TuneIn, Apple Podcast, wherever you get them. Go on there, hit subscribe, like the channel. Make sure to go leave us a review, and we'll be back next week with another whole episode. And I really appreciate having you on. Thank you so much, Kerry.
Thank you.
It was absolutely wonderful. And hopefully I learned something.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully you guys did. I know you guys did. Me, God only knows. Guys, this is Daniel from the Wonderful World of Weddings, and we can't wait to see you again soon. Take it easy.